but yeah, no, so we did the thing with the Center for Deliberative Democracy, and I've been getting feedback from like Sarah and Andrea and stuff. Um, and I think that there's like a lot of like really obvious stuff that we are all kind of like, know like, okay, yeah, we need longer speaking times, we need to have more control, or we need a little bit less structure on the proposals and not have it kind of pre-made so much. And um, but I think one of the things that was like easy to miss that worked really, really well was how smooth the experience was, at least for those who had the full setup. A lot of people were trying to use other browsers or whatever, but that like the cutoff and the transitions between speakers, the video and the audio switching was really, really smooth and really quick, where you didn't even notice it. It did not feel like Zoom. That is, I think, so important. It felt so much closer to real-time collaboration with people than any video meeting I've ever been in before. It still doesn't feel like real life, but it's way closer. And I think that is a really, really important thing that we need to keep in mind, is like, okay, when we build this, we need to make sure, first and foremost, that it's on a lot more platforms. It cannot be restricted to just Google Chrome browsers and Android phones. Like, it needs to be way more accessible. But number two, like it needs to retain that like quality and smoothness. And I think that may require that we say that it's just not encrypted. And I think that's okay. I think we can say this is not a private meeting room for you to just like hang out with your friends. This is a public space for conversation. And in order to facilitate that, our focus is on accessibility and smoothness. And like maybe we'll be able to get to like really great encryption somewhere down the line. But if that impacts performance negatively in a way that upsets the flow of the meeting, like maybe we can make that an option to turn on, but it should not be the default. I think that smoothness is really important. And I think that we should be clear about our objectives with it, and understand how important that piece of it is. So that's just a thought that I had about it. Felt very real time. And I mean, you're able to get some trickery in there because you're only having one person speak at a time, but it's like you had the queue and everything. I think better visuals for when your time is almost up. I think we could do better on that. But like with the switching, right? So like if you think about like when you go to share screen on Zoom, it takes like 4 or 5 seconds for things to get going. It's a whole thing. Sometimes there's like delays and who it picks to talk or whatever. I think the smoothness of those transitions that it had, if you think back to it, I think that was like an easy thing to not notice because it was done so well. And I think that is going to be absolutely crucial for us to nail on the technical aspect of it. It's not easy, right? Like to be able to do that cross-platform is very hard, but I think that is going to be one of the big technical hurdles that we have with building that part. And I think it's an important thing that we need to keep in mind, that we need to say that like the smoothness and performance of this needs to stay up. And that I think that is absolutely vital.